It's a great day here at Kekfilet's YouTube channel, and today is Game 6 of 6, the final of the One Piece Store Regional I was a part of, where I'm playing Black Yellow Luffy against ZOOro. What I'm going to do is leave the video in its entirety while putting the cards on the side for you guys in order to kind of leave it in that context. And Atrocious Jake ended up commentating this live on stream, and it seemed like a pretty awesome hype thing that happened. Me being in a final on a live stream was really fun. There's also going to be an interview, which you guys will hear as well after that as well. But before I start the video, I do put a lot of work into editing these videos. If you guys could leave a like and subscribe, I would really appreciate that. And without further ado, here are the finals.
Hello and welcome back to the Las Vegas Store Regional. We've got the finals here for you. It is Black Yellow Luffy versus ZOOro. So we've seen this ZOOro player before. I didn't expect to get so many ZOOro games today, Jareen.
ZOOro is crazy to me. It's the very first card in the decks, and it is just maintained relevancy whenever it has the chance to.
Especially how OP08 has released, and you may recognize the player on the right side, other content creator, Kekfila, has been in here as well, made the journey to... Kekfile.
Like
my apologies. You guys know my pronunciations on different things. So we've got Kek here with us today. Thank you so much for making the trip. He's going to be playing in this one. Going to be piloting Black Yellow Luffy. He's been doing a great job. Just took down a Bonnie, I believe, in this one, and has played many other matchups coming up to this point. So let me know in the chat who you feel like is about to come up on top. Is it ZOOro or Black Yellow Luffy? You let me know. So, Jareen, what do you feel like are going to be some of the key components of this matchup right here?
Key components? Honestly, it is very, very difficult to think about, like, when do you swing into the Black Yellow Luffy, right? Because if you're just giving him life, then he can activate as soon as possible. And then all of your 5K swings don't do anything, right? But then, of course, like, sometimes you just break in Black Yellow Luffy, and then ZOOro just has, like, 17 Surgers, so...
And especially when you talk about a card that we talked about earlier, Diable Jambe. You find your Sabos, you find your blockers, but you only have like 2 cards in hand as a 9K leader. All right, Diable Jambe, 14 at face.
14 at face. Diable Jambe. What if he plays that one card that we saw earlier?
Oh, King the Kong? Gum Gum King Kong Gatling? Yeah, powers up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I lost before. I was playing Black Yellow Luffy against another player, and they were playing ZOOro, and randomly played that King Kong Gatling on me. I was like, what the heck is this?
There's a lot of crazy stuff that could happen in this match. I'm excited to see this one. That Black Yellow Luffy as well, being from
shiny.
The new premium binder, got that gold trim inside of it. So Kek, you know, always got to bling out his stuff. Got the Boa Hancock sleeves, custom sleeves as well. And Kenny, I believe, rocking the Hatsune Miku sleeves.
Yes, that is Project Diva, not Project Sekai, but Hatsune Miku sleeves. Always appreciate that, at least in my opinion.
And so we've got an exciting match here for you. 2 great players here. I don't know. I'm pretty sure, are they secured for top 4 if they win this one? I think their resistance is probably high enough that the loser will secure top 4 and get their Nats invite.
They should. How many Nats invites is there, too?
I'm pretty sure there's 4.
4 Nats invites.
At least that's what I was told. I'll try to get confirmation, or chat, you can let me know in the comments. I don't play in these. I just commentate them. Right,
me too. I used to be super competitive into this game, but, you know, going to locals 4 times a week, it's kind of insane. So I was like, oh, I'm a focus on broadcast engineering now. Yeah, I mean,
Jareen, this is our 2nd time doing a store regional together. Jareen instrumental in the last store regional that we did as well, and we've stepped it up, I feel like, in this one.
Yeah, there are some things that I wish I could have accomplished, like a hand cam and multiple things, but some things got in the way, and we weren't able to do it.
So this is a 64-player tournament, but there were only 50 players, just to clarify in chat. Thank you all for giving me some knowledge on the number of invites that are given out. I think I was told that it was 50, despite only having 50 players, because we were a 64-player tournament. But I could be misremembering. I've had a lot of things to think about. You know, a lot of matches to watch, and cards to remember exactly what they do. You know, pulling up their cards. And so 5 life going on one side, 4 on the other, and it's going to be the ZOOro going first. So ZOOro going first, getting that 1 Dawn. Going to go in the black-yellow Luffy with 2, and after that draw for turn, is going to go ahead and play 2 for a baby Luffy. So interesting, playing a baby Luffy down now, maybe trying to catch some of those rested characters that come on the field and knock him out with the baby Luffy.
Right. Ooh, a swing into him, giving him a life. All right.
And that 5K swing is going to put Keck down to 3, and that chopper is going to finish off the turn for ZOOro, trying to find an animal-type character and play down, and it's going to be that chopper. That chopper right there is going to potentially play down another character on the field. Going to be very, very good, and especially with a hiking bear. That's the perfect combo that you want to see.
Right, yeah, and that's pretty cool. Forcing that life last turn, because when he played the baby, my first thought was like, oh, he's planning to play Makino next turn. But swinging into life makes playing that Makino probably a weird idea. Might make things a little awkward, especially when you have 4 swings next turn.
Yeah, you have to be very careful in this matchup, right? Luffy doing a lot of things to self-inflict the life, right? Trying to awaken themselves. And ZOOro just being so aggressive can really punish you on that if you go a little too far. So we'll see exactly how this plays out. Going to be a 5K swing. Is going to take that life at first. No trigger, and a Kuzan's going to hit the field, drawing a card, replacing itself in the hand. So now at 5 Dawn, I believe, for the ZOOro right here. It's got a lot of different options and a lot to work with, especially with this first Dawn powering up so many different characters. That 3-drop Alabasta chopper now at 5,000. The Swarm chopper now at 6,000. And the Hiking Bear with this Dawn now a 5,000 power character. So using that, and thank you so much, Kenny, for giving a dice notion. That Hiking Bear powering up the Swarm chopper. So that chopper now at 7,000 power is going to use that when attacking. Sees a couple different cards at the top of the deck and going to play that Robson? What's that guy's name?
Robson, yeah.
The Moodang, yeah, the Moodang of the deck.
Moodang, what's that?
You don't know what Moodang is?
No, what?
Oh my gosh, go on the internet later. Is going to be able to take that life on that 7K swing. Going to put Keck down to 2. And that Hiking Bear now swinging a 5. I think kind of just testing the waters right now with 3 Dawn left of like, okay, are you going to take this? Are you going to try to counter out of this? Maybe I can get a card out of the hand.
It is possible, because you only need 6 Dawn, correct? No, you only need 5 Dawn to go full, but you need everything to be in the proper spot. But all you need to do as Black Yellow Luffy is to get to 7, and you'd be fine against a swarm of red swings. And 7 is a harder number for these smaller guys to hit.
And so after that 5 being countered out by the Luffy, is going to take this final 5 off of a character, and a 6 is going to come down through the ZOOro leaders. So could be another 2K with 3 Dawn open. There's a couple different cards that are options that could come down. And you got to be thinking to yourself, is this going to be another chopper? Is this going to be a ZOOro? Right? And it looks like it's going to be a Rush ZOOro 6K swing coming at Keck right now before his 6 Dawn turn. Is just going to be taking that life and is going to go down to 0. So 6 Dawn now, as you were mentioning, this is the time where you can awaken, right? Because awakening and going up to 9, you can do 2 on your leader, use that leader effect to put 2 guys in life, and then you just need 4 Dawn to play down 2 different babies. But 1 baby already on the field, you can use that Dawn elsewhere in here. So yes, One Piece has a 5 character limit on the front line. That's true. And so is thinking, after putting the 2 there, is thinking maybe spreading things out. Maybe try to spread out like Garps and stuff. Maybe trying to do that. And is going to play that Garp. Maybe looking for a key 5-piece to use off of the leader effect.
Makes sense. Because all he needs is a Luffy, because he already has a Luffy on there. So he can pitch it and then put it back into life. But it looks, he already has a Rocket Luffy in the trash. Oh, and there's another Rocket Luffy. Very essential for board clearing.
It will be very good for board clearing, but on the flip side, you won't have any characters that can attack, unfortunately, on there to clear out those bodies. So looks like it is going to be the Luffy put in hand. He's going to need to trash one. And I wonder if on Luffy, I mean, this is going to be a very tricky position, I feel like, for Keck.
Yeah.
Definitely, I mean, he's going to be securing his Nats invite, I think, no matter what.
That's
at
good.
this
It is
point.
good
I
enough,
think his
but sometimes
resistance
you
is
just
probably
gotta
good
win,
enough.
right?
But we'll see exactly how this plays out.
This entire game is super razor thin. It's so, like, watching this, it's like, I'm just like, oh man, dude, this is 6 Dawn, you're already at 0 life, and the enemy has 5 on the board. But now he is a 7k leader, making it really hard for these guys to swing into him. But even if he does kill 1 or 2 of these characters on the front line, he still has to deal with 3 swings. And if he just spreads out his Dawn, it will still spell trouble.
And so thinking about now whether or not he wants to pop that treasure rare Luffy that he just put on the field, could be able to get rid of a character, which is really nice, but also draw a card on top of that. But that's one less swing that you have in the next turn. Of course, this character doesn't have rush, but if it stays on the field, it can swing. But attaching the rest of the 3 to Kuzan and looks like swinging at life, maybe?
Swinging at life. Reducing.
Gonna -4 the ZOOro. Just trying to board clear at this point, potentially. Going to be taking that life, putting Kenny down to 3.
3.
And so now with the Luffy is going to pop that Swarm ZOOro. Going to draw a card right there, and now a 9k swing is going to go. I think this is at lead at this point. So is going to put Kenny down to 2 life, and we'll see if Kenny could do the damage in this turn. Not at a full 10 Dawn, only at 7, I think. And with 1 life left, that's one thing to know. Keck left 1 life on his side, so he does have a little bit of control, has plenty of cards in hand, has a ton of opportunity for stuff like counter. And if Kenny decides to go for the board, right, like this Kuzan, that's almost like a blocker almost.
Pretty much. And the Kuzan being a very, juicy target, because the leader is at 7. And with all these small bodies on board, maybe go for the Kuzan, but that just, Keck's already in the position for cycling. And yet, there we go. We go at 5 to Kuzan.
Going to be a 5k swing because of that 1 Dawn attached to the ZOOro. Going to be thinking about whether or not he wants to keep it or block. And basically, well, not technically a block, but basically a block at this point. 1 less swing you have to worry about on there. So we'll see exactly what he decides to do with the rest of this Dawn that he's got going on. Going to be a 7k swing coming in, just matching the leader's value. Only 1k counter is needed to get out of this. Has plenty of options in his hand. And it's going to be that blocker Sabo right there. We talked about the importance of Diable Jambe, right? That could be a card that we see in this one, but going to have a little bit of Dawn left. I think he has 5 Dawn left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looks like at this point.
7 minus 2.
Could attach 1 to the Hiking Bear, give a little bit of power boost to the Mudang, or Robson, I believe is what it's called. But is at first going to swing 7 with the ZOOro, maybe thinking about, you know, not going entirely for game at this point, but giving him a 2k counter right there. So a 2k counter might be an interesting sign, I think, for the Black-Luffy, and it's going to go aggressive with the Kid Killer. The Kid Killer, really at this point, I think if you're Kenny, if you're going for the board at this point, you're trying to go for the 2k counters, and you're trying to get that life to be bottom decked, right? Because that life that stays there, now he can awaken a little bit with the Luffy, right? He can go in and get a 2k power boost for only 2 Dawn, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Right. Not only can he get a 2k power boost for free, practically, he can also still play 2 more babies and then go up to 11. Or, you know, go up to 9 with a character, with a life is also very crucial, especially because of Diable Jambe. If Diable Jambe is a possible card, you want to always have a card in life.
And so immediately popping that Kid Killer, we've talked about how important and strong that card is, and Keck really recognizing that as well off of the Luffy pop, is going to go ahead and pitch an Ice Age off the leader effect. Going to put 2 characters in life. Looks like it's going to be Sabo and Rocket Luffy. Thank you. And using the Sabo effect first, gonna put him up to 9 on this turn. Maybe gonna leave the Treasure Rare Luffy on the field. So we'll see what he does with the rest of the Dawn that he's got here. I think he's got 2 Dawn left. Could attach the 2 to the Garp and swing at this Alabasta Chopper, potentially. But the Sabo pitching the Gecko, maybe just saying, I don't have enough time in this game for Gecko.
Right. Very interesting to see how this game is going, because wherever we thought the back foot was, it's just constantly shifting.
It's definitely been an interesting game right now. I definitely think Kenny probably has advantage just based on the style of the game or the timeline of the game, but Keck still has a fighting chance just as much as anybody right now. And playing the Garp right there, fighting another baby Luffy, and even though you can't play it this turn, it is a counter card, is going to go ahead and swing 12, I think, at life right here, I think it was.
Right. Earlier, somebody was like, why didn't he go for board? If he didn't go for board, the life would have been really tall, and it'd be hard for him to go for game. Like, we are playing on a razor-thin wire, is what I feel like I'm watching.
I think Keck is really, like, being almost as aggressive as Kenny right now and putting Kenny on a clock, saying, you know what, I'm going to have these gigantic swings. Now you're at 1 life left. Both players now at 1 life going into this turn, and now we're at 9 Dawn, I believe, by the ZOOro. And as a 9K leader with Luffy, this is what we talked about earlier, the impact of boosting up your leader. It's a heavy Dawn investment to be able to swing at this black-yellow Luffy. So it'll be curious to see what he decides to do on this one. We know access of rush cards are huge in this deck. We've already seen 1 Kid Killer and 1 ZOOro. Does he have any more to be able to utilize and get an extra swing? Gonna be thinking in here, definitely, I would imagine that you will want to at least attach 1 to ZOOro, right?
Right?
ZOOro being the guy that powers up, basically effectively giving a Dawn to every other character on your field, gives a lot of value, and why this archetype and why this leader has been so good for so long.
He's at 9 Dawn right now, right?
I believe he's at 9, yes.
If he had a Rayleigh or Dragon or something, I feel like that would also be really good. Oh, there we go. We got 1 on ZOOro. But yeah, because thinking about it, like, there's not really much else ZOOro can do, huh? He could go wide, or he could go wide, swing wide, or just build board. But because the leader is at 9K, how much good does that actually do you?
5 cards in Keck's hand right now. 1 life that's still worth noting, and also a Sabo. So especially with 9, if you're gonna swing this turn, you gotta really put the pressure on. But I think this is what we're talking about. Keck has actually not played this at a bad point, because especially because Keck has continuously gone at life. He's basically said, like, maybe I'm going for game next turn, right?
Exactly,
I've got access to rush characters. I've got the ability to power you down. You don't really have blockers, potentially, so is going to be attaching 3 more, swinging 9, just matching the Luffy, is just going to require a 1K counter out of the Luffy's hand, and so we're going to see what he decides to do on this one. No Raleigh, unfortunately, on this one, but I don't know if Raleigh would really help you at this point.
No. I was just thinking about what other cards he could do, what other moves could he do with the Dawn that he had, right?
Oh, yeah, and so going to be pitching this 5-cost Luffy could be nice to put back in life if you're looking for a throwaway life, right, to go back at the bottom of the deck. Maybe not something that you could really utilize in this one. So has, I think, 4 Dawn left, or no, 5 Dawn left, I'm sorry. 5 Dawn at this point. Plays the 5 rush Luffy, still can't swing.
Still can't swing.
So definitely, I think, much more of an interesting spot for Kenny than originally what a lot of people would give credit for. It's definitely one of those things that, even though Kenny had such a great start in this game, really looked like he was taking the table, the Luffy's kind of stabilized a little bit in here, and it's going to be up to the Luffy to be able to maybe close out this game. We know that Keck has been playing Black Luffy all tournament, right, and has been a very good player. You know, a lot of people watch his content for a good reason, and so maybe already knows what to do against ZOOro, and maybe hasn't been worried really the whole time on there.
Yeah, very, very interesting, this razor-thin game. But, like, with all the advantage Kenny had at the beginning, being at a 9K leader plus a life in there, puts Kenny at such a safe spot.
So a little over 17 minutes left. Still plenty of time in this game right now. It's a crucial part of the game, especially because you attach those 4 Dawn to the ZOOro, and is going to play that rush Luffy down, but just past the turn, right? So no 1 Dawns to play. What is that? The come and shut up and come dance, or shut up? No, not shut up and dance with me. The shut up and come with us.
Yeah, shut up and come with us.
Event to play down a blocker chopper, but has plenty of cards in hand still. So who knows? Maybe if you can block out of the rest of the attacks that Keck is going to put on, you could defend against all of those, and then just, yeah, I'll take the life on your 12,000 power swing or 11,000 power leader swing. That's fine.
Right. We're putting 2 Dawn on the leader. Going to activate the leader effect.
Well,
we have to wait for the...
Yeah, has to awaken first, and so playing the Gecko right now is going to bring back 2 babies. Does have to trash one of those Garps, so puts that one away and is going to use that Luffy, put that Luffy on the field to be able to boost up by 2. And so here's an interesting thing as well. The Luffy pop does go, but the 5-drop Luffy is still on the field, and especially with unblockable, you can't pop that with just the regular treasure rare Luffy. You got to have an Ice Age or something that we pitched earlier in this game. So could spell a little bit of trouble. Does awaken to that Luffy to go to a 9,000 power leader. And with no Dawn left, I believe, just has a little 9 swing coming at lead right now. Has to decide whether or not he wants to pop a character. It may be beneficial to drawing a card, right? This next turn, you've got a Sabo to come in. You've got a Gecko to come in. You've got a Garp and leader as well for a deck that doesn't play too many blockers. So maybe drawing that card is just valuable.
I wonder if he has Diablo in hand. Because if he has a Diablo in hand, plus Rush Luffy, that might just be game, right?
He's got to still reach out to 9K. Yeah. Remember that 9K. Luffy is a 9K leader, so you're already going to have to invest 3 Dawn, right, to get 1 9K swing in. 1 to the leader and 2 to the Luffy, right, to get that. And the Luffy, thankfully, is unblockable, but can you get 2 more swings in? That's going to be the big question on here.
Right.
Gonna be insane to be able to do this.
It would have to be 2 unblockable tall swings. Just 2 tall unblockable swings. 4 cards in hand. There was a lot of hand shaping early in the game. I would not be surprised if every single card in there was a 2K. Also, chat was asking how leader became 9K. It's not the leader ability, it's the babies. When the babies do their effect, they increase the leader's ability. They increase the leader's power by 2K. And he's been doing it twice every turn.
Yeah, so giving him consistent and ends up countering out of that one.
That was a lot of counter.
A lot of counter.
There. I finally see it.
Yeah, those ducks. We saw the super squad, duck squad, I believe it's called. I should have done more research before the tournament. Is going to use that Luffy to pop a character. Is going to pop that Alabasta Tony Chopper in there and draw a card, and it looks like maybe he drew a 2K right there. That was huge.
Oh my god. We'll see.
So now, though, it's full 10 Dawn. So seeing what's in the hand right now, do you go in? Do you maybe build board a little bit? It's definitely in a rough spot. It looked really good for Kenny, but now we're not so sure at this point. It looks like Favors in black-yellow being able to prioritize those babies early, right? Even when you're only at like 6 Dawn or something like that. You were mentioning you only need 6 Dawn to be able to do the black-yellow Luffy baby summoning, power-ups, things of that nature, and it turned out well for him.
And then on top of that, during that turn, he had a baby Luffy on the board already, so he only needed 4 Dawn, honestly. But he only needed to go to 7 that turn, so he only used that baby. That baby was free.
So preemptively playing that baby Luffy seems silly at first on the 2 Dawn turn, but paid so many dividends for him in this matchup. So going to be another 9K swing. Once again, investing 4 Dawn into the ZOOro to be able to swing. Just going to be a 1K counter that you get out of this right here. I definitely think that you probably want to give up just 1, but it's a matter of who you give up in this one. And it looks like it's going to be a 5-cost Luffy. So now even if the unblockable Luffy comes down and swings, all right, yeah, you can take a life. It'll go down to the bottom of the deck, and good luck swinging with anything else.
Exactly.
Right in this one. So,
like, don't forget though, we still do have those cards. What is it? The King Kong Gatling.
Oh yeah, the King Kong
would be a
Gatling.
crazy surprise to see, but I don't think it would work on anybody besides Luffy himself, because I think it has to be a Straw Hat.
It'll be curious to see how he does this, but even if he can't win this turn, right, he has to adjust. What can he do to kind of restabilize, right? Kind of go into a more defensive mode. This deck, not necessarily defensive, but is going to be very tough, especially with plenty of swings coming your way. We're seeing a little bit of peek at the hand. Not going to mention too much just in case they hear us, but could be a little tough for Kenny.
Very tough spot. Shout out to Keck, because he did exactly what I was saying earlier. Going to 9K and then also still having 1 in life. Very good rotation of the brothers to maintain such a difficult board state.
And that's the thing. You want to consistently get those power-ups every single turn. So what's the best scenario to get you to that point? He's going to be attaching a ton of Dawn to the Mudang or whatever. 4 Dawn attached plus 1. It's just going to be a simple 1K counter out of it. Leaves 2 Dawn up.
2K.
So we'll see.
Flampe 2K.
On here. Yeah, Flampe 2K gets him out of that swing. So we'll
3
see
cards in hand
exactly.
still.
Looks like just passes the turn off to Keck. So here we go. Keck now at a full 10 Dawn with Black Yellow Luffy. Has a Sabo, has a Gecko, and has definitely a leader that can power up. So
he only has 4 cards in hand, though. If he made it so that all the cards are... Oh, I forgot that there was a Gecko on board. He
Gecko just being...
He still has all the base swings.
Just being a regular 9K swing is going to use that Shut Up and Come With Us event that we were talking about earlier. Trying to find that blocker chopper, and does end up finding it right there. But I think because the counter phase happens before the blocker phase, you still have to take the life. You can't opt to block in that scenario. Is going to go ahead, play the Luffy, and evolve, leaving that treasure rare Luffy countering out of those swings. Very good for Keck's game plan, and it looks like Kenny just scoop in, especially after that baby Luffy, revealing that final baby Luffy in the hand. Seeing so many of them in here and looping those treasure rare Luffys, being essential to the game plan and being able to pop them. A lot of people would say, you know, it's a little tough to lose out on a character that could potentially swing, but popping and drawing just such a good game plan, I feel like, for it. We're going to try to get Keck for a winner's interview right here shortly for you. That is going to be the final round. We're going to do some interview, maybe talk about the game plan, let him shout out his channel too, as well as another content creator. But anyways, we're going to bring him over. But yeah, just an interesting game plan here for us.
I'm buying one of these backpacks too now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're going to, Keck saying he's going to buy a bunch of backpacks. I mean, you got a lot of store credit, I think, from this. Well, you'd have to check with Will, the owner of the store.
Oh, but, just the mic? Or
yeah, it's just the mic on here. So
we're chilling here. I'm going to look like you.
All right, so tell me a little bit at first, you know, going into ZOOro, you kind of played that really well. So did you... How many treasure rare Luffys had you, or not treasure rare, rocket Luffys? One happened to be a treasure rare. How many of those did you have in hand, like when you preemptively played that baby Luffy? Because on your 2 Dawn turn, what seemed like a silly option at first, we were like, oh, he's playing that. It ended up paying dividends for you.
I think I had 1 or 0 in my hand, and the main thing is that ZOOro does not have removal anymore. How they beat you is you're at 6 Dawn, and it's too hard to awaken. So if you can just play any or both 2 drops, it's pivotal for that matchup. Let's say I have another scenario that happens. Let's say I didn't have a little character, but I play a Garp. On my 4 Dawn turn, if I have the choice between playing a 4-cost Kuzan, a 4-cost Kuzan, or 2 babies, I'll play 2 babies. Because that's all that matters. I just need to become a 7K leader with 1 life.
We were talking about that interaction of you can boost up your leader, and ZOOro, in order to swing, although they have a huge board, they're going to have to invest so much Dawn. So I was going to say, especially out of the early gates, you know, saw that 3-Dawn turn from the ZOOro playing down all of those characters. Were you sweating a little bit at that time?
I was, yeah. I had to like counter out of a 5K really early on, right? But it was for sure. It's always a sweat early on. Now I'm just hoping my life is okay. And actually, a small thing that happened on my on the turn where he went really, really hard on me, on when I was at 7K leader, I had just enough cards to counter out, but still have a combo in my hand. So like it was just like perfect. If I had one more non-counter in hand, I would probably would have been in trouble actually.
But it's those key decisions at times like this.
Yeah.
No matter what, you've qualified for nationals, right? Did you have a nationals qualifier before?
Not this one, no, because Nats just finished like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So this is my first Nats qualification.
Your first Nats qualifier.
So you may not see me at some store Nats at my actual locals in Utah, because I came down here from Utah to play today.
I was going to say, I didn't actually know where you were from, so Utah, very nice, driving across state lines to be able to come to here. How do you feel about Las Vegas? How do you feel about this store?
It feels great. I have a lot of family here, so it works out really well. So that was like the extra excuse to actually come down. Because it's a 7-hour drive. Like, well, 14 hours if you count both ways. But no, this is great. This is a huge shop, night and day games. This is number one shop I've been to be honest. Like, I have a really good shop at home, but this is great.
The Night and Day is going to love that one as well. And we thank you again coming out. You've got a channel for anyone who does not know. Shout yourself out real quick. Promote yourself.
So my channel is Kek-Filet. You can follow me on Twitter, follow me on YouTube. I have a Patreon. I make lots of content. I will tell you, I filmed all 6 games, okay? Like, I have POV of 5 games and then 6, but I want to say I was extremely lucky today. Like, every game, great matchup, never bricked.
What were your matchups today, by the way?
Oh, yeah, so I played against the Katakuri round 1.
Oh, Katakuri. I didn't know there was one in the room.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's the same one.
They made a mistake. They played Kadatsu when I had 2 life, thinking they can kill my 4-drop. And when they could have just played a mom. If they played a mom instead, I actually would have been in trouble, but they had no counter they hand at the end of the game. So I think I would have won based off of just that.
Yeah, that's sometimes what happens on their... Oh, gotcha.
Round 2, I played against a ZOOro, and I had something similar like this happen. Right. By the way, I won every dice roll besides the last one, so that happened. I played against Lucci. They did not see good curve. I went second as well. I played against a BY. They bricked actually horribly. I played against, and this is the hardest matchup today. It was Bonnie. I feel like I actually made a huge misplay mid-game. I played out a Moria and played out Little Luffy. When I thought I put out Luffy Sabo, because I put that in my life, and it was like literally hands on the head, like, I think I'm going to lose this game. And I don't know why, I was just nervous and playing fast. I had a turn where I actually paid 5. I said, I'm going to play Luffy, and I put down a Sabo, and I was like, I meant to play Rocket Luffy, right? Because I wanted to kill his blocker. So I was like, oh, wait, I said that, so is that okay? And they're like, yeah. My opponent was very nice, but and obviously a horrible matchup for me.
Yeah.
But I was able to somehow beat that one. That was probably the craziest. And then this one, I mean, it was pretty close. But I would say it's fairly standard ZOOro versus BY, even though a lot of ZOOro players are a little too confident into BY. It's kind of the best deck of format.
Well, I think it's kind of one of those things, and I will agree. I've said this like on my channel too, that like, especially when Red Purple Law was running around, if Red Purple Law wasn't there, Black Yellow Luffy, best second format in my opinion. I think it's just that good of a deck.
Yeah, and even then, it wasn't so bad back then.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's too good. It's a fake deck, guys. It's a fake deck. You should abuse it until they ban it, because it is really fake. So.
That's what we do here. Play the best decks, win the store regionals, earn your invites, and you can see Keck at Nationals. When is Nationals again?
January 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
I haven't booked my ticket. I'm in the LCQ, so I don't even know if I can play in it now. I think they let me. I paid. They can't.
Look at this.
I guess if they refund you, they can. Can you still get the part? Do you get participation in the LCQ?
I probably.
Oh, yeah.
And the next person in line gets it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm doing 2 tournaments that weekend. Let's go.
That's what we like to see. Love playing card games, and we'll love to see you in the results and through the rounds at that event as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for coming to Las Vegas as well there. But anyways, that's going to be all for the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you all. Like, comment, subscribe, all that blah, blah.
All right, post-game interview. After all that, I want to say it was awesome going to Las Vegas. I'm probably going to have like maybe 1 or 2 more videos about this whole trip. But it was a ton of fun bringing my girlfriend along. She really pushed me to go. And then winning all of it at the end of the day with all these awesome prizing. With that, I'm probably going to do a little bit more work with Black-Luffy because it is just a really, really strong deck going forward and this weekend. And I want to say thank you all so much, for watching these videos. I'll be live streaming this weekend, probably 2 different things. Something on Saturday. I might live stream something on Sunday, like another store regional. I'll let you know how that goes. But that's essentially the end of the video and this whole store regional series. Thank you so much for watching all of these videos, and be tuned for more great videos. See you all in the next one. Ciao.